All right, welcome back, everyone. We are jumping into A Course in Miracles today.
Yeah.
And specifically Lesson 12.
Okay.
Which is,
Building.
yeah, building on, what we talked about yesterday, but kind of going in a little bit of a different direction.
Yeah, forgiveness is really the cornerstone of this whole course.
Yeah, and this idea that we're moving into trust today.
Yeah.
And how that relates to peace and happiness.
Absolutely. And actually trusting in the guidance of the Holy Spirit is what the lesson's all about.
Okay.
Like shifting our reliance from, our own often fearful egos to that.
Okay, so I'm just going to throw this out there.
Okay.
What are ego-driven thoughts?
Yeah.
For somebody who's maybe never even heard that term. What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, we can think about the ego as like that inner voice that's so focused on scarcity, comparison, and control. It's the one that's always whispering to us, what if you fail?
Right.
You're not good enough. You need to be in control of everything.
Oh, I know that voice so well.
Right. I mean, and these thought patterns, they really stem from fear, and they can often lead us to making decisions that create, more stress and anxiety.
Okay, so how do we quiet that voice? How do we move into that trust?
Yeah. Well, the lesson suggests, practicing daily affirmations of trust. So instead of letting those fearful ego thoughts run the show, we make a conscious choice to affirm something different.
Okay.
We could say things like, I trust in the guidance of the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Or I'm safe and guided even when I don't understand.
I've got to admit, affirmations, I've always been like, I don't know about that. But because it's kind of making sense to me now in this context,
Absolutely. It's like we're literally rewiring our thinking, right? Yeah. So if we're consistently affirming trust, it's only natural that our mindset's going to start to shift.
Right. So it's kind of
like training a muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah, I like that. I can get on board with that. So there's also this idea of mindful decision making.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, it's really about creating a pause before we react or make a choice. So rather than just, impulsively following our fears or doubts, we take a moment to ask, what would the Holy Spirit have me do?
Okay.
What's the most loving choice I can make in this situation?
Oh, okay. So it's like getting some outside help, like a higher perspective on a decision making.
Yeah. It's not about being passive. It's more like we're aligning ourselves with a wisdom that sees things that we might be missing.
Yeah. It's interesting. It reminds me of the whole mindful decision-making. It reminds me of this idea in the source material about reflecting on past experiences where we felt guided or supported.
Absolutely.
And it talks about journaling about it.
Yes.
Like, what does that look like?
Well, it's acknowledging those times when things just seem to work out perfectly, even when we didn't have all the answers, those moments where you just look back and you're like, wow, I'm so grateful that happened that way.
Right.
So by reflecting on those experiences, we can begin to build like what I call a trust resume.
A trust resume.
Yes, a record of all the times that we've been guided and supported.
Okay.
Even when we weren't even aware of it. It's like we're building evidence for that inner voice that says, see, you're not alone. You're always taken care of.
Okay. So we're getting into this heavy stuff now.
Yeah.
But there's this question in the source material that I want to explore.
Okay.
And it's, what areas of life are hard to trust in?
Yeah.
And how do we surrender those to the Holy Spirit? And to me, that's where the rubber hits the road.
Right. It gets real.
Yeah, because, we can sit here and talk about trust in this kind of philosophical way. But then when it gets down to our relationships and our finances and our
absolutely
the big things in life, that's when it's hard.
Yeah. And that question's really an invitation for us to get honest with ourselves about where we're still holding on really tightly, where we're resisting surrender to a higher power.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's in those very areas that we have the potential to experience the most profound shifts.
Oh, wow. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it seems like, trust is not just an idea.
Right.
It's something we have to put into practice.
It's an active choice.
Yeah.
It's something we choose. We choose every day.
And it's like choosing to align with a wisdom that's beyond our limited understanding.
It is. And, making that shift from fear to trust, from ego to Holy Spirit, that can have a ripple effect out into every single area of our lives.
Wow.
It can bring more peace, joy, and fulfillment.
Okay. I like it. Thank you so much. This was great. For everybody listening, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.